Hello, and welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Laura Cotter.
And I'm Sky Orchard.
How are you doing today, Sky?
Oh, fine. I was told I have Edward Cullen hair, so I guess I'm in my Edward Cullen hair era.
You know what? Now that you say it, I kind of see it. Is this what it's going to look like until the end of festival, or will there be like a pre and post haircut situation?
So this is what it's looking like going into festival. I cut the mullet, last haircut, to be quote unquote professional. I miss it sometimes, but we'll see what happens post festival.
Who says the mullet's not professional?
I know, it's business in the front, right?
It's at least 50% professional.
I think I overthought things. I have to be a consummate professional, even though I'm not. So yeah. That's my life update is I'm in my Edward Cullen era.
I did almost send you, I can't remember which brand it was, but some makeup brand right now has a Twilight line, and they do in fact have white body glitter.
Oh dear.
So I may actually send you that now. You can just really lean into it.
Go all out.
I don't think we've ever asked, Team Jacob or Team Edward?
100% Team Edward growing up.
Yeah. Same. Jacob is annoying.
Honestly, at the end of the day, Team K-Stew, though, all the way.
I thought you were going to say Team Charlie.
Oh.
As we all are. All right. Well, that's our intro chit chat.
Twilight.
Because I think last week's was a little, I don't remember much about last week, and I don't think you've done the editing yet. So we'll see what comes out of that episode.
A lot of Sudafed ranting, if I remember correctly.
Okay, our question for this week, because it was really hard to think of one for this one, and I'm not looking forward to even more Halloween episodes in the future where I'm going to have to try even harder. What are your feelings about creepy porcelain dolls?
Oh, gosh. Last week when I was guessing, I was like, hey, ghost named Will. And then I opened these notes. I was like, doll? Excuse me? That title did not give any inclination about a creepy doll. No, those things are hella haunted. No, thank you.
I don't know if it's because like I grew up with like the American Girl Samantha doll. They don't super bother me in small doses. I do think it's weird when you like walk into a room and it's like just so many dolls, like more dolls than there probably are particles of dust in the room. That's a little much, but a few, that doesn't bother me.
I think I saw a TikTok of a new like antique store in Salt Lake that has a lot of creepy dolls.
Oh, I think that's field trip time. See if you can figure out where it is, and maybe we can do a quick trip sometime in the near future. One other thing before we get into this episode that we need to do is, I think, background. So in the, like, from 1968 to 1973, there was this show called Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In that was usually just referred to as Laugh-In, hosted by Dan Rowan and Dick Martin. And it was a sketch show, and all of our talking part guest stars that are in the Ants storyline are from this show. And I noticed, I didn't know that beforehand, but as I was going through doing the credits for all the actors, I was like, wait, why do they all have this show in common? So I decided to look it up. They're all from that.
Interesting.
So I texted my parents, because my parents are old enough to have watched this and remember it vividly. And I said, hey, do you guys remember this show? And they're like, yes, absolutely. I said, okay, will you? And I found a clip on YouTube that has just the scenes from Aunt Beulah's party. And I sent that to them. And I was like, will you give this a watch? Let me know what you think. And my dad was like, I recognize at least 3 of them. Quote from my dad, Laugh-In was more short jokes and sketches, not this long and corny.
Interesting.
My dad apparently was not a fan. Then they talked about Ruth Buzzy, Gary Owens. My dad was like, Gary Owens is the real Gary Owens. And I was like, yes, I know that. I kind of want to watch an episode of it. I'll have to see. Probably is on Peacock, I'm betting, because it's an NBC show. But if you're like, who are these guest stars? Why are they here? This doesn't make sense. That is why. Hopefully now it makes sense. This is Season 3, Episode 6, titled Goodwill Haunting. TV Guide description. Sabrina gets a weird doll that brings monster party crashers. Hilda and Zelda have run out of excuses for not going to their Aunt Beulah's Halloween party. Better than last week, I will give. It's wild how very different the writing styles are for TV Guide. Our streaming description. Halloween turns truly frightful when a demented doll takes charge of the festivities. It originally aired October 30th, 1998. We have Kenneth Coach returning as our director. He had directed Sabrina Claus and Sabrina's Choice. And then we have writers Carrie Huntingbloom and Renee Phillips also returning. Our guest stars. So first off, we have Gary Owens as Guy Who Thinks He's Gary Owens. You will probably recognize his voice from something. You probably maybe can't put your finger on it, but his voice was everywhere. He was a radio announcer, a narrator, and a voiceover actor. Credits include Spy Hard, Space Ghost, SWAT Cats, The Radical Squadron, and of course, Ronan Martin's Laugh-In. I included that in all of their credits because I didn't realize until about the second to last one. I was like, hey, there's a pattern here. Alan Seuss plays Bellevue Deer. Besides Ronan Martin's Laugh-In, he was also in Punky Brewster and Chips. His name just makes me giggle because it's a combination of Bellevue and Belvedere. First of all, do you know the show Mr. Belvedere, Sky?
No.
You might be too young. So it was like early 90s TGIF, and it's about a family that has a British butler. It's kind of like Charles in Charge, where it's this guy that's kind of like trying to take care of the family, but it's an older British dude. I remember loving Mr. Belvedere. So there you go. And then the other half of the name obviously comes from Bellevue Hospital, which is famous for treating psychiatric patients in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So Bellevue Deer is, I think, one of the greatest names we've come up with on this show. We have Ruth Buzzy as Delilah. She actually just recently passed away on May 1st of 2025. She's also known for a lot of voiceover work. She was in the 1976 Freaky Friday. She was in Seventh Heaven, the Pink Panther TV series. She was Mama Bear on the Berenstain Bears. And I know her from Sesame Street as Ruthie. She was like a little store owner. She hung out a lot with Oscar the Grouch. And one time she moved into Oscar's trash can while he was on vacation.
Was she there for Oscar when Wormy went to space?
No, I don't think she was around at that point.
What a storyline when that worm went to space. Oh my gosh.
That was a long storyline too.
It was.
I went on a rabbit hole last night of watching old Sesame Street clips and I was like, oh, I forgot about this character and I forgot about this character. We have Joanne Worley as Aunt Beulah. You may recognize her voice as the wardrobe in Beauty and the Beast. And she actually just reprised that role in the Disney Princess Lego short that came out on Disney Plus. And it was like Gaston is trying to take over the Disney Princess Castle and they all have to fight against him. Yeah, it was a whole thing. It's cute. It's cute. She was also in a Goofy Movie, Bones, and Boy Meets World. Dave Madden is Dr. Hans Egelhofer. My dad didn't know him from Ronan Martin's Laugh-In, but he was like, I do recognize him for the Partridge Family. So there's that one. He was also a voice in 1973's Charlotte's Web, and he was also in Boy Meets World. We have Corbin Allred returning as Justin Thumb. Speaking of Bellevue Deer being an amazing name, the last name of Thumb is a terrible name. And lastly, we have Tara Strong as Molly Dolly voice. We haven't seen her in the Sabrina series, but she was Gwen in Sabrina Goes to Rome.
Welcome back, Gwen.
What were your overall thoughts on this one, Sky?
What a take on a doll horror.
Good? Bad?
It was like, at parts it felt like it wanted to be like serious scary, and then other times it was like, no, spoofy scary, and like, it didn't find the balance between the two, it felt like at times.
Okay. I will say rating prior Halloween episodes. River of Candy Corn, number 1.
Yes.
This one, number 2. And then the first Halloween one, number 3.
Yeah, I feel like we couldn't even consider the first Halloween one like truly a Halloween episode.
Yeah.
It's basically family Christmas dinner for witches.
Although I do love Milady. But I mean, it was fun. We haven't had an episode necessarily with a lot of quick scenes like this for a minute. So we're kind of back to that old school feel of like, we're in this place, now we're in this place, now we're this, now we're here, now we're here. Like the going back and forth between the aunts and Sabrina was really fast, which was nice. It was a little bit hard typing wise. And that's why I think I noticed it, because I was like, oh crap, I gotta keep pausing because there's not a slow minute for me to catch up on things.
Fast scenes, keep our montage. Montage seems to just be a standard staple of Sabrina at this point.
Our cold open. This is so hard. I'm like, how do I write this? We open on an organ playing with some creepy noises, and Salem appears in what I was like, I've seen this kind of role before. It's kind of like a Vincent Price role from Mystery on PBS. I know you don't know that because that's firmly 80s. I honestly never even saw Mystery on PBS, but I do know it from the Sesame Street character Vincent Twice.
Sesame Street comes in clutch again.
This is a Sesame Street heavy episode for me. And like, I even sent the opening to my parents and I was like, do we feel like this is more Vincent Price from Mystery or Alistair Cook from Mystery Theater? And my dad was like, I'm going Vincent Price with a little bit of Alfred Hitchcock in it. I was like, got it. Sounds good. So Salem is in a little
smoking jacket.
Thank you. That's what it's called. A little smoking jacket, a little robe. He introduces us to the Halloween episode and warns to put your parents to bed because it might be too much for them. Then he tells you that there's an escaped convict in your neighborhood and it's there behind you. And then he starts laughing maniacally.
My only note was anytime you get to start off with Toccata and Fugue in D minor, you're starting off strong.
How do you think Bach feels about this song being like the quintessential Halloween song?
I feel like he would appreciate it.
Do you think he's like, suck it, Beethoven, I have a full holiday for my songs?
100%. Probably sad that there's not royalties in the afterlife.
Oh, can you imagine?
Would he top Mariah Carey? Surely.
I mean, Tchaikovsky gets Christmas.
Yeah.
Bach gets Halloween. Mozart probably gets Easter. I feel like he's got some religious stuff in there. And John Philip Sousa gets the 4th of July.
Sorry, Beethoven.
There's not a holiday for Beethoven. He can have Arbor Day. Our outfit intro is what I'm assuming is a burrito. But then she says, I'm one hot tamale.
And it was such a terrible costume. I'd almost call it like a poorly wrapped, like chicken wrap from Wendy's and not even a burrito.
I was staring at it. I'm like, what is that trying? Did it have like lettuce in it?
Lettuce and like it felt like tomatoes sticking out too. Like
maybe it was trying to be like a soft shell taco.
Maybe.
I don't know. But it definitely wasn't a tamale. I can tell you that.
Not a tamale at all.
Hilda is screaming in the kitchen and Zelda and Sabrina come running in. Zelda magically slaps Hilda and realizes she was screaming because they've been invited to Aunt Beulah's Halloween party again. Sabrina wonders if this aunt knows the family secret, and that's the only time we're going to talk about that in this episode. Hilda says her only secret is that she throws the dullest Halloween parties. They've managed to avoid them for the last 500 years and have actually never met Aunt Beulah. Zelda reluctantly realizes they have no excuses not to go and RSVP. Yes.
Some of the excuses Zelda tells us they've used in the past are World Wars I and II, the Chicago fires, and not to mention Luke and Laura's wedding.
Do you know who Luke and Laura's wedding is?
I do not.
It is Days of Our Lives, and it was a huge deal. And then at some point, Laura's sister ends up marrying Luke. It was crazy times. Wait, am I in the... No, that's General Hospital. I'm getting my...
Oh my gosh. Turn in your soap opera card right now.
Luke and Laura, General Hospital's wedding. It was a huge deal. Tons of viewership. Everybody watched it.
I do wish the writers would have dug a little deeper for like some events, maybe a little further past than the past 100 years, since they've been avoiding for 500 years. But that's just me being nitpicky there. Nothing important happened past 100 years.
Well, I mean, we could be here for a very long time if they start using every excuse.
No, just choose one a century. And then Hilda complains that RSVP stands for Rotten, Stupid, Vile Party.
Valerie asks Sabrina about watching scary movies at her house with Justin and Harvey for Halloween. She claims she's learned her lesson from last year and hasn't already invited the boys. Okay, we've established Sabrina has not had a birthday. She has not changed age. We're still in junior year. I was like, hey, maybe everybody's memory is wiped and that year was taken off everybody's life because it was her test year and it doesn't matter. Nope. Valerie has memory of that year. Multiple people have memories of that year. What is this timeline?
Let's do the time warp again.
Sabrina starts to make her excuse, but Justin and Harvey arrive and Valerie just invites them. They accept and Sabrina chastises Valerie.
Valerie's apology is so ironic. It's the one area in my life I'm really pushy.
Good job, Valerie. Sabrina begs Zelda not to make her go to Aunt Beulah's party, and Zelda gives in. Salem tries to scare Sabrina by wearing a sheet when she comes out of her room. The linen closet door rings. It's a special delivery for Sabrina.
Sabrina asks the invisible delivery man, would you accept an invisible tip? To which he says, how about you kiss my invisible behind?
Zelda and Hilda come upstairs and find that Aunt Beulah sent Sabrina a Halloween present, a Molly Dolly. Zelda and Hilda leave for the party and put Salem in charge of chaperoning.
Salem says, I haven't been a chaperone since Altamont. The Altamont Speedway Free Festival was a counterculture rock concert held on December 6, 1969, outside of Tracy, California. Anticipated to be a Woodstock of the West, the event is remembered for its use of the Hells Angels as security and its significant violence, including the killing of a fan, Meredith Hunter, and 3 accidental deaths, 2 from a hit-and-run car accident and 1 from a drowning incident. Meredith was stabbed there while the Rolling Stones were playing. And it was sort of seen as marking an ending to the 1960s counterculture.
I listened to a podcast episode about this, and it is wild. And so, I can't imagine how scared I would have been had I been in that crowd. It's insane.
One of my favorite spooky writers, Grady Hendrix, wrote a book called We Sold Our Souls, which is about a band selling their souls to the devil. And he does have a scene that's sort of reminiscent of Altamont there that he writes very well. It's when the devils are coming to get the souls.
Like in K-pop Demon Hunters?
Sure, yeah.
I'm keeping it fresh for the Gen Alphas.
That you are.
If Salem was in charge of chaperoning, he did not do a good job.
Also, wouldn't you have been busy trying to take over the world if it was 69?
He has time for a concert. It's not a 24/7 gig. Salem tries to give Sabrina rules, but she leaves him when the doorbell rings, leaving the doll with him. Valerie, Harvey, and Justin arrive, with Harvey and Justin in costume this time, and Valerie not in a costume. So Valerie learned that lesson from last year.
Valerie looks so offended when Sabrina's like, oh good, you didn't come in a costume.
Wait, Sabrina said that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
as she answers the door.
But why did Harvey and Justin come in costume?
Great question. I was expecting Valerie to be like, but I am, and like with some random person as her costume.
Also, if Harvey and Justin are like, hey, we're gonna go make out with these girls on Halloween, maybe don't wear a mummy costume
and green Frankenstein paint
and like kind of bulky shoulder pad. Like, they did not think this through. It's starting to storm outside. Perfect for watching scary movies.
Justin says, I hope my little brother's okay. He's going as the Tin Man.
Harvey got Bridges of Madison County, Remains of the Day, and Enchanted April at the video store.
The IMDb descriptions of these: Remains of the Day. A butler sacrifices love for duty in 1930s England. Enchanted April. 4 English women after World War I who are unhappy with their lives and their time away on vacation in an Italian villa. And then Bridges of Madison County. Photographer Robert Kincaid wanders into the life of housewife Francesca Johnson for 4 days in the 1960s.
Have you ever watched any of those?
I have not.
Me either.
I would choose, if I had to, probably Bridges of Madison County because it has Meryl Streep and Clint Eastwood.
Didn't it win like a bunch of awards too?
I believe so.
I would watch Enchanted April. That one sounds interesting. I like women who are like, my life sucks. I'm going to go hang out with some other women and not be around my family.
The men died in the war, and you know what? We are okay with it.
Sabrina invites them in, then closes the door, then notices the doll at the bottom of the stairs. Sabrina blames Salem and tosses the doll back upstairs. Hilda and Zelda arrive at Aunt Beulah's.
Now remember, Hilda starts to say, when you want me to shoot you and put you out of your misery, you'll scratch your nose. Zelda interrupts.
The door opens by itself, then slams shut behind them, revealing a sign that says Insane Asylum. The 4 teens are on the couch watching a movie. Justin and Harvey put their arms around the girls in a choreographed move, and Sabrina and Valerie exchange a look. Sabrina magically dims the lights, then notices the doll under the table behind the couch. She screams.
Valerie asks what's wrong, and Sabrina says, Clint Eastwood just took his shirt off. That tells us that they chose to watch Bridges over Madison County, if we have Clint Eastwood.
She grabs the doll and runs out of the room. Sabrina takes the doll into the kitchen where it says, I'm a Molly Dolly. It's not Salem talking, though, because he's buried in a cauldron full of candy with a mouthful of caramel. How do you feel about that use of the cauldron, Sky?
Better than pens.
Sabrina stares at the doll. Hilda and Zelda are looking for Aunt Beulah, but just run into a group of characters, including Delilah.
And I'm delighted to meet you. They sound alike. It's a real conversation starter.
A surgeon.
I am Dr. Hans Egelhofer. The Dr. Hans Egelhofer, the renowned psychiatrist, author, and surgeon. This party isn't going to be boring after all. Dr. Egelhofer is the foremost authority on slug reproduction, exclaims Zelda excitedly. And we get an unintentional sword fact, because for kicks and giggles, I decided to put Hans Egelhofer into Google, and it said, hey, I think you're misremembering Hans Talhofer, who is a famous 15th century German fencing master known for his detailed manuals on medieval combat. And so we know a lot about medieval combat today because of what he wrote down.
Sword facts. There's also a man who thinks he's Gary Owens. Hilda begs Zelda to go home. Another woman comes over and asks if it isn't a fabulous party. Hilda says she has been drinking too much. Then they realize this woman is Aunt Beulah. They hug and claim they're happy they finally made it. Aunt Beulah calls for a toast, and a man comes in carrying a tray of candy corn. How did you feel about Belvedere?
He felt very Igor / riffraff coded.
I enjoyed him. I thought he was delightful. I very easily can see how he would be super annoying to some people.
Yeah, I see where they were going with it, but interesting character.
Sabrina is in the kitchen trying to reason with the doll when Valerie walks in.
Why are you talking to the doll? Because I don't believe in hitting them, says Sabrina.
There are trick-or-treaters, but no one can open the door. Sabrina shoves the doll into a bread box and tells Salem to watch her.
A little time in the box might do her some good, says Salem.
The trick-or-treaters are egging the house.
Wow, Mulan has quite the arm, says Valerie. And of all the quote-unquote Disney princesses, I don't know, females grouping, whatever.
Leading ladies
from the 90s. Yes, Valerie, I would expect Mulan to have the strongest throw. I think nowadays Merida could give a run for the money.
Throwing, I bet Mulan still beats her. Like, you do have to have muscles for bow and arrow, but I don't know. What do you think helps better, bow and arrow or sword fighting muscles? Mulan did also throw some shoes.
She did throw some shoes. She also shot an arrow. I mean, Mulan was going to top out, but Merida's at least going to give a run for the money, whereas all the other leading ladies, nah.
I would say third would be Rapunzel, because if you can swing a frying pan like that.
Yeah, that was like cast iron, so.
Yeah, we're not going to go through the rest of the princesses. That's it. Top 3. When Sabrina tries to open the door, she gets shocked. She makes up an excuse and tries to leave the others again, refusing Valerie's offer to come help. The other 3 go back to watching the movie. The surgeon is measuring Zelda's head to examine her brain. Hilda watches the other weirdos and makes a joke to Delilah.
I hope this party's over while I'm still in my 500s.
Weren't they on their 600s at one point? Or has it always been 500s?
Oh, it was always 500s, but who knows at this point?
Not me, that's for sure. No, in our pilot, Hilda says they're 600 years old.
Well,
so it did used to be we've lost 100 years since the pilot. Then Hilda asks Zelda if they can finally leave. But it would be rude to leave during the toast. Aunt Beulah starts to give the toast, specifically calling out Zelda and Hilda, but Hilda yells that she wants to go home when it's silent. Everyone gasps. Zelda tries to excuse her and Hilda, but Aunt Beulah breaks the news that they can't leave. It's an insane asylum. Everyone cackles. Sabrina is pacing the kitchen while the doll sits on the table saying, I'm a Molly Dolly. Sabrina realizes the doll is behind everything and finds Salem trapped in the bread box where she had put the doll. Salem cowers and Sabrina goes back to yelling at the doll, who just continues to say, I'm a Molly Dolly, until she adds, and I'm gonna get you. Cue thunder and lightning.
I was very shocked that Salem didn't even try and eat all or any of the bread in that bread box out of desperation since he was trapped for at least a minute, which is forever in Salem's stomach time.
It's what he's hiding behind. He needs the bread to protect him.
Just the rye bread. That family has a lot of bread.
There's a lot of bread in there. And also, Sabrina never brings a lunch from home. She eats lunch at school every day.
I've also never seen a bread box that's part cabinet. Like, that was a bread hutch.
I'm betting like it's an old school Eastern Victorian house thing.
I really like to blame the East Coast on some of these things.
Anytime something doesn't make sense, I'm like, it's probably the East Coast. We're so uncultured out here in the West. My bread is just in my refrigerator, not in a fancy box.
Mine's on the counter. I'm not even refrigerating it.
Sabrina tries zapping Molly, but the doll meets her zap with powers of its own. Molly zaps the porch doors open to bring in her friends, like Frankenstein's monster. The monster follows Sabrina into the living room where the teens hear the moaning, but Harvey assumes it's Justin's stomach. Sabrina starts playing violin to lure it away and locks it into a closet. Do we think Sabrina's friends are just very unobservant, or do we think that they've accepted her quirkiness so much that they're like, yeah, weird things happen with her. It's fine. We just don't pay attention.
I think They realize she's a little cray-cray.
And they're like, it's fine. Just let her go. Just don't worry.
She's just having an episode. Sit it out.
It's just Sabrina playing violin. That's normal. Zelda and Hilda try to zap themselves out of Aunt Beulah's, but the candy corn shut down their powers. Zelda says they don't even like crazy bread, and that is a lie. Everyone likes crazy bread. Everybody does.
Unless you have celiacs.
Even then, you're like, I wish I could eat that, but I can't. And you're sad about it. Anybody who says they don't like slightly undercooked bread with a bunch of butter on it is a liar. Belvedere grabs a huge syringe and needle to subdue them, and they run off. He says something about good thing he has his Favas shoes, but they closed in 1995, which is 3 years before this episode.
But he exclaims, the prices were insane! Ha ha ha. Insane asylum. Insane.
I really like the actors in this scene. I can see that they're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and I can see that they're going to be annoying for some people. They bring me so much joy. Not as much joy as 10,000 Maniacs appearing, but a lot of joy nonetheless. Also, part of the reason why Fava Shoes closed down was because they were driven out of business by Payless, which nowadays I wish we still had Payless shoes around. $20 for a pair of flats that lasted you just one summer. Man.
Right now, a pair of sneakers is like $80.
Ugh. Sabrina barricades the closet door and tries to tell the others they need to leave, but they don't budge. It's only 8:45 p.m. and they can't open the doors. Molly Dolly suddenly appears behind them and turns all the lights off.
Don't go, the knife. The night has just begun.
Everyone screams. Sabrina tries to call her aunts, but the phone is dead.
Our very sassy killer doll says, if you're a teenager scared out of your wits, press the pound key now.
Do you think they filmed this before or after they filmed Sabrina Goes to Rome?
After.
So I wonder if like Tara was like, sweet, I gotta play a ditzy English witch and now I gotta play a psycho killer doll. Sabrina tries to tell the others that Molly has magical powers and they need to run, but everyone laughs. They know about her Halloween pranks from last year. She tries to claim it's not a prank, but they just laugh some more. And even Justin, who wasn't there, had heard about them, so apparently they're the talk of the town.
The infamous Candy Corn River.
Zelda and Hilda have lost Belvedere and find a door marked exit, but there's a man behind the door acting crazy, and he's doing the thing where you go, and I was like, what is that called? And apparently it's called flapping lips.
I don't like that.
I do not like that term.
No.
Apparently it's like a universal sign for crazy, or it was back in like the 80s and 90s. Delilah comes by and warns them that Belvedere is coming, but she knows a way out. But then Delilah claims she's Fred and starts pretending to drive a car. Belvedere catches up to them and they run away again. Sabrina, Valerie, Harvey, and Justin are all searching for a flashlight but can't find anything.
There's never an angry mob around here when you need one, says Sabrina.
Molly helpfully lights a candle. Harvey says the prank has gone too far. More thunder and lightning, and the monster breaks through the closet door, and now a mummy has arrived. They all scream and run. We get a quick little montage that is supposed to be playing the Monster Mash.
And during this montage, we do not have a graveyard smash because we don't get the Monster Mash.
We, on our episode,
our Halloween minisode,
where you played a little snippet of the Monster Mash, it has like a copyright notice on YouTube.
Oh no.
So I don't know if anybody actually heard that. I think I listened to it though on Spotify. I'm pretty sure I listened to it.
I was hoping it was short enough to meet common rights usage.
Isn't it like you can have like 10 seconds or something like that?
Yeah.
Like 8 or something.
And then we're using it to like make commentary.
Yeah. Okay. So our montage, we have the teens being chased through the house, barricading the kitchen door, but the door opens outward. Hilda and Zelda are being chased through the asylum, Harvey and Frankenstein's monster watching a movie together and crying on the couch, Sabrina running around upstairs, and a person being pushed in a tub in the asylum. Sabrina is searching through the magic book for help, but there's nothing to stop killer dolls. She does find one to turn on the lights and does the clap on. Do you know what the clapper is, Sky?
Is it where you clap and the lights turn on?
Clapper was an amazing late night infomercial. You plug it into your electrical outlet and then you plug whatever like lamp you want to. I guess you could plug other things in there too. You would clap twice to turn the lamp on and then you would clap twice to turn the lamp off. It's like now we have our smart houses and our smart lights on our phone and we can turn them off. It was the early analog version of that. I had a clapper.
Oh.
In college. college because I was like, I didn't want my whole room light on. So I just wanted my lamp on, but my lamp was over at my desk and it wasn't by my bed. So I'd get into bed and I'd clap, but they weren't really great. So sometimes you'd be in bed just like clapping over and over again, trying to get the light to turn off.
They require a standing ovation.
Yeah. But clap on, clap off, the clapper. Sabrina goes to try and fight against Molly again. Zelda and Hilda come to another sign that points to the exit, but Zelda doesn't believe it and goes to the door marked laboratory. It actually is a lab, though, and they are caught in a giant butterfly net for like 2 seconds, and then they're released again. And Zelda and Hilda are forced into chairs and strapped down to get their brains switched with the brains of 2 chickens. The doctor flips the switch, and we hear electricity while Hilda and Zelda shake. Molly is calling for everyone to come out from hiding. Sabrina grabs her and starts wrestling with her on the ground. And I said this was A+ physical comedy. Sabrina grabs a scarf and ties it around Molly's eyes to prevent her from zapping anyone.
The plan to pretend I was a coward worked, says Salem.
I don't believe this person inside this cat's body ever took over the world. Do you think he became a coward when he became a cat, or do you think this has always been his personality?
I think there is a bit of cowardice behind every would-be despot in history, currently, whatnot.
Fair. Sabrina is off to the other realm to get her aunts to help her. Salem taunts Molly, who appears in the hamper beside him, having removed the blindfold.
You don't toy with Sabrina, especially if you're a toy, is Salem's taunt.
Sabrina didn't really think that through. She left the doll on the floor, hands free, with just a scarf around her eyes, and just like left her in the middle of the floor. I'm like, tie the doll up, bind her tighter, throw her in a metal box with a key.
Just leave this killer doll with my mortal friends and the cat.
Yeah. Sabrina finds Hilda and Zelda and yells about what's happened, but the ants just start clucking. Zelda's voice comes out of a chicken, and Sabrina goes over to them, not even questioning it. She's just like, oh yes, there's my chicken aunt. Aunt Beulah introduces everyone to Sabrina. Hilda lays an egg. Aunt Beulah admits it isn't actually an insane asylum, it's a theme party. If they had come to the last 500 parties, they would know.
We learned that last year they had a prison riot.
I want to go to Aunt Beulah's party. Sabrina yells that there's a problem with the doll Aunt Beulah sent her. Aunt Beulah grabs Hilda and Zelda and goes with Sabrina back to the house. There are more monsters in the house now, attacking the teens. Aunt Beulah doesn't see the problem.
In this realm, we don't give toys like that to children, says Zelda. In this realm.
Amanda would have loved a Molly Dolly. Are you kidding me?
That's true.
Well, she probably has 5 of them. The people who grow up in the other realm, think about the insanity they see on a daily basis.
The insanity might start with what they're put through as children. Just saying.
Aunt Beulah agrees to stop her and sings a high note. Molly agrees to stop terrorizing if she stops singing. Aunt Beulah stops and Molly calls off the monsters. Harvey, Justin, and Valerie run away again, and Zelda, Hilda, who are both human again, and Sabrina start laughing to try and convince them that it was a prank. They reluctantly laugh, but run off when Sabrina asks if they want to watch the rest of the movie. Sabrina is upset that her night was ruined by all the monsters. And she lists off a bunch of monsters, but I didn't write them down, and then by the time I realized it was important, I was like, well, didn't write that down. She's listing off monsters. Aunt Beulah says she didn't tell Molly to send a werewolf, but Molly didn't. But a werewolf walks in from the dining room holding Salem. Everyone screams. Our end tag. Salem closes the episode. It's all behind us now. But the start of the episode plays again with Hilda screaming. Salem wakes up from where he's napping on the counter and screams. Ta-da! Between this one and Pancake Madness, we've had some good unhinged episodes in a row.
It's true.
All right. Do you have a new title for this one?
Instead of doing a pun off Good Will Hunting, because it has nothing to do with Good Will Hunting, I would instead do either probably Dolly's Play instead of Molly's Play. But Dolly's Play, because in 1988, you got Child's Play, where you first meet the infamous Chucky.
When you say Child's Play, I just think about that crappy candy bag. All right. I know that this episode was super helpful. So what is your guess for the family secret?
Yeah, this really gave me Nothing whatsoever.
I will accept that as your guess.
Nothing whatsoever. There is no family secret.
Oh, the secret is that there is no secret.
Yes. Playing us like a child.
Like Aunt Beulah. Our next episode is going to be season 3, episode 7, You Bet Your Family. So, Sky, what do you think it's going to be about?
It's going to be about the Spellman family, and Sabrina or Salem are going to make a bet that risks Zelda and Hilda. It's a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but it's a Honey, I Bet the Family. They're gone away because I made a bet with their lives.
You feel like that's what you want to write down? You feel confident?
Sure. I'll write that down when I remember what I said. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but they bet the family is what I'll write down.
We do not get a hint to the family secret next episode. We're 7 episodes. Well, now we're 6 episodes in. We've gotten one clue, and that it's about the Spellman family.
Oh, man.
How is this girl supposed to get her witch's license? We're a quarter of the way through the season.
Just think, we could still have a Quizmaster instead.
I know. I miss Quizmaster.
Quizmaster and that doll in the same episode.
Oh, that would have been good.
So gold.
That would have been awesome.
Well,
R.I.P. Quizmaster.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
In the meantime, while you're anticipating next week's episode, please like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com, Instagram at somethingwitchypod, and TikTok at something.witchy.pod. Until next time,
stay magical.